Welcome back in. It's your boy Ray Garvin here at the Draft Network, and this is my favorite segment that we run on this channel. No offense to anything else, but I love to hear our scouts just go back and forth and pound the table for a guy that they like and their counterparts are far too low on. So I just get to sit back, relax, and watch them go to town. Joe Marino, I'm starting with you. Pound the table, my guy. Who is it?
Hey, listen, I want to talk about Cincinnati wide receiver Tyler Scott. And look, everybody was watching Cincinnati last year, making the run for the national championship and the playoffs and all that type of stuff. Desmond Ridder, Alec Pierce. But guess what? They were good again this year. Maybe not playoff worthy, but they had a lot of good football players, but I don't think the attention was on them. And so I think some people are late to the party when it comes to wide receiver Tyler Scott, a guy that chose Cincinnati over a bunch of other Power 5 schools, whether it was Michigan State, Syracuse, Indiana, Nebraska. He wanted to stay in Ohio and play for Cincinnati, and he was the number 2 target back when Desmond Ridder was there in 2021, and then he became the go-to guy this past season, led the Bearcats in receiving touchdowns, yards, and receptions, and my goodness, this guy is explosive. He's got legit elite speed, which allows him to win down the field. He's really dynamic after the catch. Guys can't get pursuit angles on him. He runs away from coverage, and that twitchiness, that elusiveness shows up as a route runner where he can uncover quickly, get fluidly in and out of breaks, and then when he puts his foot in the dirt and says, let's hit that second gear, he pulls away from people. So you love the dynamic, do-everything skill set here. And look, he had a great season. He's slept on, I think, in this class. I'm not afraid of looking at him as a potential top 50 player. And I think as everyone kind of gets to Cincinnati tape, because they weren't focused on him too much during the season, they'll see what type of talent this guy has.
Who's the lowest on him, Joe? Who's the lowest on Tyler Scott? Is anybody?
This is a low blow.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because look, I was a little
You
late
didn't even watch him before the Senior Bowl.
Right, this is a guy in my region, so it's a little bit on me that my guys here haven't been fully briefed
rolled
on.
out of bed last week and watched Tyler Scott wants to come on pound the table and give us a hard time for not watching a regional player.
And that's why I chose not to throw anyone under the bus. I'll throw myself under the bus. I should have told you about him sooner.
There it is. Well, Kyle, you're already fired up. So you just take off, baby. Take off, Kyle.
All right. So I got a regional guy that I got to shortly before the Senior Bowl, but everybody watched him at the Senior Bowl. So I feel like I have a reasonable case to be made here for this guy not being on anybody else's ballot in their TDN 100. I got a late day 2 grade on Thomas Incoom, the defensive lineman from Central Michigan. Played some time reduced inside at the Senior Bowl, rushes off the outside. I would make the argument that his outside rush tape is better as a pass rusher. He had a really, really productive career for the Central Michigan defense. The last 2 years, he's been superb as a pass rusher. He's got an NFL frame right now. He showcased versatility at the Senior Bowl. So Dame and Joe, both of you guys didn't get him ranked. And I understand we're in regional scouting. Nobody's going to go out of their way to watch a directional Michigan pass rusher before the Senior Bowl, but he was there. And then we did the update. So I'm just wondering why we don't like positional, flexible pass rushers with the density to play inside, but the juice and the hand power to win off the edge.
I think you explained why. I mean, he rushed a ton from the inside at the Senior Bowl, and I don't think we got to see the best version of him, especially because you said he's better as an outside rusher. So I think I just need to see a little bit more before I was ready to put him in the TDN 100 ballot.
No, I like what I saw from him. I want to get into the tape. I want to get into the tape so I can fully appreciate his skill set a little bit more. But he did pop to me while we were down in Mobile.
DP, you're up, baby. Who you got?
I want to ask Kyle. Why don't you rock with Tennessee right
say hate.
tackle, left tackle.
Yes.
Darnell Wright, man.
That's what the
You talk
listeners are
about,
gonna say.
you talk about
Why
going
do you
down
hate
to the
Darnell
Senior
Wright?
Bowl and performing, baby. Like, he was out there and he looked good, man. We know that he could play. You talk about positional flexibility. He played left tackle last year and he played right this year. But down in the Senior Bowl against a lot of these athletic rushers that Jim Nagy and staff were able to equip the defensive staffs with, he held his own, and not even just held his own. He looked really good out there, man. The length, the power in his hands, and getting out of the stance with good quickness, right? Be able to cap the rush. And shout out to Joe and you guys always talking about taking the air out of pass rush sets, right? So he's able to do that in the one-on-ones. He looked really good and really clean, and we know that he can move bodies in the run game. So what's the issue? What's the issue, Kyle?
So I got Darnell Wright in my top 100. I got him in the third round. So my question with Darnell Wright is functional movement skills for NFL pass rushers. And I think we were all probably a little surprised, and you guys can let me know if I'm speaking unfairly for you, but I think we were all surprised at the lack of an emergence from any of the outside pass rushers with the opportunities that they got that week to consistently day over day stack wins together and consistently stress these offensive tackles. So for Darnell, I'm not warm and fuzzies relative to some of the other offensive tackles for the leverage that he has, the mobility through his hips and his frame to consistently play with good pad level. I think he's got enough length that if you put him in that situation, he can run guys past the edge. But how many true pass sets did we see from Darnell Wright on tape at Tennessee with this spread offense where the ball's out of their hands quickly, or they're getting a lot of drop 8 coverage, so he's really only worried about an inside shade defensive lineman as compared to handling NFL speed off the edge. So it's just a little bit of an incomplete box for me that's checked for Darnell Wright right now, and maybe we'll get him to the combine and he'll illustrate some better movement skills than maybe I'm expecting, and if that's the case, then I'm not going to have any choice but to come up and meet you.
There it is, you guys. And I just want to, I don't know, who's got Florida? Do any of y'all have Florida? Is anyone on this call have Florida? No one has Florida.
Keith.
That's Keith. Well, good. He's not here to defend himself. I just want to throw out, I was impressed by Osiris Torrance at the Senior Bowl. And again, not swinging any direction too far either way. Where are y'all at with him? Who's low on Osiris Torrance on this screen right here? Because I'm looking at our 100 and I'm like 53. Can we not get this big boy moved up a little higher than that?
Keith.
So Ray said on the screen, and that's
right.
me. I had him 66. So
okay.
I think he's a fringe. I think he's a scheme-specific starter, but what he did do that I think really helped him at the Senior Bowl is he came in and he looked a little bit leaner than what he was on tape. And I think that really popped. So anytime that there's a body composition change with a player, the question then becomes, okay, well, is that sustainable? So if Osiris Torrance keeps the trimmer version of himself than what he had at the University of Florida, I certainly think he's going to be drafted in the second round when it's all said and done.
There it is. I love this. This is so unfair because you guys don't watch everybody at this stage, right? But it's still fun to have some conversation and discourse about these guys. And Keith wasn't here to defend himself, so we'll leave Osiris Torrance out of it. But we appreciate everybody watching this video. If you want more exclusive access to our scouting team and the entire TDN staff, go to the Premium Discord. There's a link in the description. Join that today. But before you click off of this video, you've got to hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe to the content, comment below. Let us know who you want to pound the table for, and stay tuned for more draft coverage over here on our YouTube channel. So for Joe Marino, Damian Parson, and Kyle Krabs, we're out of this thing. Peace.